Nikon has made some amazing vintage short telephotos over the years. These are lenses, kind of like portrait lenses, 85mm, 105, in that length area. I think the one to start with is the 105 2.5. So, fantastic lens. I owned one years and years and years ago, and it was a wonderful lens. So first, let's talk about what I consider the best of the vintage lenses. I think that the vintage AIS lenses, the manual focus lenses that were made starting in like 1981, and some of them were made as far as late as like 2005. But these AIS lenses, manual focus lenses, that was possibly the pinnacle of Nikon's lenses for manual focus and great optics and great durability and professional quality. They had no price point lenses at this point. Everything was made to the highest standards that they could make. And I think that's important because now everything is price point. If you buy a lens, it's available in different price points depending how much you want to spend and how much quality you need. But back then, they made them as sharp as they could, and the quality was as great as they could. And the faster the lens, the more it cost. But it wasn't necessarily an increase in quality. It was just a faster lens and cost more because of it. So let's talk about the 105 2.5. And this is a very famous lens because of Steve McCurry's photograph of the Afghan girl. So allegedly, he shot this on Kodachrome 64 with the Nikon 105 2.5. That's the standard knowledge. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that he did. I'll tell you something interesting, though. Years ago, maybe 86, 87, after the magazine had come out, I took a 1-week workshop with Steve, and he said that he shot that picture with the 75-150E zoom. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know why he would say that. Possibly to a group of photography achieving young photographers. He was trying to make the point that it doesn't matter what the lens is. It doesn't matter if it's a Nikkor or a Nikon E. None of that matters. But Steve McCurry said that he shot that lens with this E75-150. I don't know if he did or not, but that is what he told us in the class. And again, maybe he was just trying to make a point that it doesn't really matter what lens you use. It's what you're standing in front of that, really defines the picture. Anyways, 105 2.5. I owned one myself. It was a great lens. It allowed you a great working distance with your subject. So if you think of this as a portrait lens, this is a great working distance from your subject. Now, do you buy a 105 or do you buy an 85? That's kind of the question, and its answer is not as easy as you might think. It kind of depends what your next longest lens is. So if your next longest lens, if you're kind of going by the theory, I need a 28, a 50, a 100, and a 200, kind of that basic theory that a lot of photographers, especially newspaper photographers, work with. If you go with that theory, it kind of determines what lenses you're going to buy. So if you're going to buy a 180 or a 200, then maybe you're going to buy a 105. And so maybe that's the perfect portrait length. But if you're going to buy a 135 and 105 is too close to carry. So if you're going to buy a 135, then maybe you would rather shoot with the 85 than the 105. And maybe instead of using a 50 and an 85, you're going to use a 85 and a 35. So you do want to think out the system before you kind of commit to this stuff. But for most people, if they're going to shoot with a 180 or the 200, then a 105 is the perfect answer. Now, they had this 105 2.5. Great lens, as I said, wasn't inferior in quality, but they also had a 105 1.8. Now, I was a working professional photographer. I worked at newspapers, and I'll tell you, I never saw this 105 1.8. I don't know anyone who had one. It was probably very popular. It came out in 1981. The 105 2.5 came out in 1981. They were both available to 2005 new, but it wasn't something that I saw. Photographers either weren't willing to pay for the extra amount, or they weren't willing to carry the extra amount. I mean, it was slightly different in the sense that the filter size. So the 105 2.5 classic Steve McCurry lens, people love it, great for portraits. The 105 1.8, magnificent. Again, I never saw one in the wild, but I'm sure they were out there. Wasn't something that news photographers could afford or were willing to carry. So let's talk for a minute about 85s. Nikon has made two different 85s AIS lenses. They have an f2 and a 1.4. Now, the f2 is way lighter than the 1.4. The f2 is sharper than the 1.4. It's less expensive than the 1.4. The 85 f2, I would recommend for people, hey, if you're going to buy an 85, buy the 85 f2. I don't take my own advice. I bought the 85 1.4. Now, the 85 1.4 is larger, has a 72, 77. It has a larger filter, so now you're using this other filter series, a large physical lens, not as sharp as the f2, not as light, and cost more. I bought it. It was the dream lens of photojournalists. You know, it was one of those lenses that if you're going to have an 85, this was the one. Now, people have said in the past to me, why would you even have an 85mm lens? You could just have a 50 and take a step forward. And it's kind of true, but I like the 85 length. It just gives you a nice working distance with your subject and, a slightly narrower angle of view. Yes, it has a nice look to the other out of focus areas, this bokeh or bokeh that people talk about. I mean, it's true, but I don't really shoot pictures because of that. So those are the main four lenses in this short telephoto range. 105 2.5, Steve McCurry used one, so it can't be that bad. 105 1.8, physically larger, physically heavier. I've never seen one in the wild, but I'm sure people love it. 85 f2, that's what I would recommend. Great optics, light, small, 52 filter. And the one that I have is the 85 1.4. I love it. It's just, there's some days it's just too heavy to carry. But that's the summary. Now let's talk about the specific lens that I have. I've mentioned this before, but my background is as a news photographer. So I worked at 5 different papers. The last paper I worked at was actually the Canadian Press, where I was a photo editor. So I worked as a news photographer. This was the film era. Then I switched and I worked as a sports photographer. I worked for Major League Baseball, 17 seasons, and the NFL for 14 seasons, and I shot tons of hockey and a bit of NBA. So this was all shot on film back then. Now, and then the final part of my career, after being a sports photographer, I went and worked for Sony Imaging, part of the imaging group, digital imaging group. I was one of the national managers for the group. So I have a background in film photography, and also I know quite a bit about digital since I worked at Sony. So let me tell you what I know about this 85 1.4 that I own. So I did a bunch of photographs. Some were tests, some were photographs. Let me kind of explain what I've learned. Now, the first one is the old shack. I go to the old shack because the sun is always beautiful on it, and it's got these weird shingles, and it's just a great place for texture and sharpness. The only thing is you have to be careful that you're not stepping on the highway and get run over. So this first shot with the 85 1.4, this is at f1.4. So at 1.4, the lens does not have great contrast. It has adequate sharpness and adequate contrast. Now, if you look at this next photo, this is at f8. So at f8, I have really increased my contrast. So it's quite a difference. And the sharpness is quite a bit better too. So at f8, the lens is magnificent. Now, I've said this before, but all lenses are magnificent at f8. 1.4, it's a little bit soft. It's a blur to it. It's not out of focus. It's just a blur and less contrast. But when you go to f8, wow, is it ever nice and sharp, and the contrast is fantastic. So that's the lens wide open and the lens at f8. Now, while I was shooting at f8, I thought, wow, it's such a great length. And this old shack is so great for photographs. So this third shot is with the 85 around 5.6 f8 on a tripod. Great detail. You cannot ask for more out of 35mm film than you're getting really with this 85 Nikkor lens at f8, f5.6. It's magnificent. And while I'm using it and enjoying it, here's another shot of the old shack. Again, you can just move in and focus is nice and close. Magnificent lens, great detail, great sharpness. You cannot expect any more out of 35mm than this. Now, besides the old shack, where did I go? Well, I went to Hilton Falls, and there's a little rapid there. This is not Hilton Falls. This is at the conservation area, but this is not the falls. But there's the little rapid there. So I wanted to just, take an exposure, 1 second, f8. I'm focused on the little growth on that rock in the center, and then I'm blurring the water. This is not as much as a test as it is a photograph with that lens. So you can kind of get an idea of the look of the lens. And the detail is there. It's a good focal length, and it's a fun lens to use. Now, this is the old mill also at Hilton Falls, and I'm just shooting from across the river. So great detail again, and on a tripod, f5.6, f8, kind of in that amazing sweet spot. You just can't ask for anything more. You don't need more sharpness than this. You're not, at this point, I think the limiting factor isn't the lens. I think it's the size of the film. Now, I like to go to this old church because the church is always there. You can, when you're taking pictures, you want to come back with something. So I go to this church because I know there's nice doorways and I can get a nice photograph. So this is with the white door, and it's got a nice, beautiful, creamy kind of look to it. This is totally in the shadow. So in the shadow, this lens is magnificent. I've got tons of detail. I've got so much going on in this photograph and so much sharpness and a beautiful creaminess coming through on the white door. And then around the corner of the church, again, full shade, the dark door, and just so much detail. The thing I love about Nikon lenses is how amazing they are in full shadow. Wonderful, wonderful, creamy contrast. Now for landscapes, 85mm, is that a good length? Well, it might be a little long for a lot of people, but it does allow you to sort of look a little bit deeper into the photograph. So these, I'm focused on that rock in the foreground. To be a better photo, I probably need better light on that rock to separate it from the background. But in the open shadow, lots of detail, lots of sharpness. 85, not a bad length. It's worth carrying it in your bag. You can't carry every length. You can carry every length if you're working in a studio and you have a shelf and you want to put the 85 on the shelf next to the 50 and then next to the 105. In that way, you could have all three. But if you're working in the field, the 85, you can't carry everything. If you're working in the field, you can't carry everything. So if you're going to carry the 85, you can't bring the 105. If you're going to take the 85, maybe you're not going to bring the 50. Yes, you could carry them all, but if you're hiking and that, how much can you physically carry? How much do you want to carry? And I think that's one of the advantages of the 85 f2, a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, easier to carry into the field. Now the old roots, again, with the 85 on a tripod. This is a very dark area. This is like f8 for 8 seconds. And I'm focused right on those roots in the foreground. And when I was printing this, I thought, it doesn't look as sharp as I would have thought. But when the print is dry, I've got my glasses on. It's a nice sharp photograph. So I've got those roots, and the second one I've just physically moved in a little bit closer. Great detail. As I've said a minute ago, you cannot expect more out of a 35mm negative than what this lens is going to give you. I'm using the 85 1.4. I honestly recommend the 85 f2. I did own the 105-25, also a wonderful length. But these lenses, these Nikkor manual focus AIS lenses, this was a heyday for Nikon. Professional photographers loved this gear. And you know what? When you're shooting in these open shadows, it's truly magnificent stuff. You get so much detail, so much information. That's what I love about them. Short telephoto lenses, manual focus lenses. I'm shooting them on the Nikon F3. You get back into the darkroom and they're just great negatives to work with. I print them on a Leica V35 enlarger, and that enlarger is nice and sharp. The lens is nice and sharp. And when you're working in these shadows, it's just a wonderful, magnificent experience. To me, this is really what photography is about. Getting all of that information on the negative and then in the darkroom making a print. Nikon's wonderful short telephotos, the 85s, the 105s.